Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you my 1990 735IL Alpina tribute car. This is kind of an Alpina tribute, even though it has some lovely Style 5 BBS two-piece wheels right here. I spent quite a bit of time looking for and acquiring two genuine Alpina wheels for this car, but I wasn't able to find a full set for an affordable amount of money. So I ended up going with these E39 fitment BBS RC090 wheels. There's one small spot of rust right there by the back bumper. As you can see, the trunk area here, I have a genuine Alpina badge and my vintage 1990 Connecticut plate. On the passenger side here, here's another look at the BBS wheels. And on the front here, this is a genuine Alpina fiberglass front spoiler that I imported from Alpina in Germany. Let's take a look on the inside here. This has to be one of the most immaculate interiors that I've ever seen for a car of this age. Here's the first VIN tag here on the driver door. Check underneath. Always a good idea to look for any rust under the doors on the E32 model. This car still has the original floor mats, which are perfect, no stains, no tears. The carpets in this car are in amazing condition. And that makes sense because this was owned by a businessman first, and then he sold it to a doctor who owned it for a very long time. And then I acquired the car from a contractor who received the car in a partial trade for payment for work on the guy's house. These cars have lumbar support on the bottom button there, and heated seats is the top button. Here you can see the replica Alpina badge plaque that designates this as 1990, and I did that because I didn't want people to think this was a real Alpina, and so I avoided using any of the real numbers that these cars were manufactured in. The leather on these armrests are perfect, and it looks like they've never been used. Now on the IL model, the rear door is actually longer than the front door, and that's because this car was manufactured and intended for business people who were going to be chauffeured and had drivers. So this wasn't really aimed at the business person who drove themselves around, but instead it was actually made for diplomats, for government officials, and the CEOs and C-suite executives who would be chauffeured around in this back seat. This rear seat is also fully adjustable. It reclines and slides forward as you adjust the electric seat, which I will demonstrate in another video. It's a very handsome carrying case here, some storage in the back armrest. It's also interesting to note that the seat belts are on the center of the seat and not on the outside like you see in most other cars. This car was also optioned with a manual rear sunshade. Here's another look at the front seats and that sweet Motorola car phone. And I'll hop in here to see how much legroom there is, which is an incredible amount of legroom. This driver's seat is adjusted for me driving. I'm 5'10", and still have loads of room to sit in the back. Here's another close-up look of that genuine Alpina badge. This was one of the first cars to use the L-shaped taillights as well. This is the 740 and 740IL rear muffler, which does fit on this car, and that increases the pipe diameter by 5 millimeters. The trunk provides a very generous amount of space. You can fit several golf bags, no problem. And these big cars received the big tool kit. This is the one with all the wrenches, the pliers, the spark plug tool, the screwdriver, and the blue cloth. Also has this monstrous CD player, CD changer, which works perfectly. And of course there's some good finds in here. There's some Italian opera, some classical, and some Bob Dylan, all three of which I already listened to. So it was wonderful to find those CDs preloaded in there for me when I bought this car. So satisfying to close the trunk on this model because it has two hydraulic shocks to support the trunk. Here I'm pointing to a tape line that shows this car in the passenger quarter panel was painted before, and they didn't do a very good job, or even attempt really, to blend that panel. Here's another original VIN tag which is present. Here's a look at those electronic controls again for the passenger side. And even the seat back here is wrapped with premium leather. It's buttery smooth, very soft, and you can see some of the texture in the grain here in the map pockets in the back. Up on the headliner there, you can see towards the back it was sagging, and someone attempted a repair at some point in time. Again, here is another VIN tag. They all match on the passenger front door. And again, just the most beautiful, soft, nature leather seats that I've ever seen in a vintage car of this vintage. And this is a super cool and unique design to the E32, how the glove box drops down and like a multiple hinged and hydraulically supported system. Very interesting, sort of sways back and forth here. Sort of suspended from this design. Very cool. And again, the original floor mats, the back is sort of delaminating a bit, but everything is super clean, no weird smells, and this car has a very unique vintage German BMW smell to it that I can't quite put my finger on to describe, but it smells very good. And of course, the early 1990 dash, the top is still black, no cracks there. And here's a little storage compartment for your cigarettes. Another fine detail about these cars, I believe this is one of the first BMWs to have a heated element in the bottom of the windshield, so the wiper blades will not freeze to the windshield. Here's another close-up look at those heating elements in the bottom of the windshield. I can guarantee almost no other car in 1990 was incorporating this kind of tech into their cars. Let's reach into the footwell here and pop the hood. One of my favorite features about this car is that the hood opens up the sort of backwards, or the opposite way that it does on a normal car. It shares this with the E34 and the E30, and sadly my E28 doesn't have the cool reverse opening hood. And again, here's another original VIN tag on the passenger front fender, and they all match. There's also one on the hood, and that matches too. Alright, here is the heart of the beast, and here is the paint code sticker. I thought this was Island Green, but it's actually pronounced Iceland, like the country. And here is the M30 straight 6 single overhead cam. I believe this is the 12 valve motor, and it's a 3.5 liter displacement. And again, along the firewall here, the VIN number is stamped again. Right here is the key. Only the 735IL got this giant key that flips out. This early one had infrared remote, which was, I guess, sort of a security risk back in the day, and it was later upgraded.